There's a time and place for everything, even in football. But sometimes, players and fans take it a step too far. These are 20 appropriate moments in football history, and be warned, some of these might be a bit too inappropriate. Number 1, we'll start off easy though. This game had to be stopped before it could even begin properly because someone decided to water the grass at the wrong time. Just as the game started as well, someone definitely did that on purpose. Who even controls those sprinklers? Number 2, that guy needs to learn when to turn them on. Where was he when we needed sprinklers after Italy's victory? These guys were so hot after the game that they took their shorts off and started celebrating. Yeah, they just pulled off an amazing win, but it's a family show. Come on, no one wants to see that. They couldn't even keep them on until they got to the dressing room. Number 3, but at least they did it after the game was over because this next player was a bit too keen to start taking shorts off. Defenders are taught to do everything in their power to stop the opposition from scoring a goal. But Jan Vertonghen has the wrong idea when it comes to using any means necessary. The striker got past him, so Vertonghen just straight up pulled his pants down. I mean, yeah, it worked, but was it really worth the poor guy's dignity? Look at the manager, even he knows Vertonghen went a bit too far there. Number 4, to be fair, that was probably just a mistake. But this next one was definitely on purpose. Argentina's run in the 2022 World Cup was nothing short of legendary, but it wasn't as graceful as some might have hoped. Things looked pretty inappropriate when Paredes fouled Ake and then smashed the ball into Dutch bench for no apparent reason. He got completely wiped out by Van Dijk for his troubles too. What was he thinking? Number 5, and the Argentines didn't stop there. When Emi Martinez received the Golden Glove Award for having the most clean sheets in the World Cup, he celebrated in a rather inappropriate manner. He held the trophy against his crotch and made this weird face. No one really understood why he did it really. Maybe he just let his intrusive thoughts win and did whatever came to mind? But hey, it wasn't as weird as seeing Erling Haaland do yoga with this young lady. Whose idea was it to have Haaland do yoga live? They're obviously trying to catch the guy lacking. Kudos to Haaland staying strong and keeping a poker face throughout the video because I certainly wouldn't have been able to get through it. But that was just an advertisement, so it wasn't as weird as when Cristiano Ronaldo lost his cool and started kicking this player. Ronaldo's return to Manchester United didn't go as expected, especially considering how the games against bitter rivals went. Liverpool thrashed United 4-0, 5-0, and 7-0 in 3 Premier League meetings, and Ronaldo didn't like it one bit. So, in one of those games, he lost it and just started kicking Curtis Jones on the ground. Yeah, football players are used to kicking for a living, but this? Come on. Speaking of kicking balls for a living, Harry Maguire takes his job a bit too seriously. He cleared the ball, which was well and good, but what happened next was completely uncalled for. He slid around and just punted Batshuayi in the groin. Poor guy had no idea what was coming. And guess what? VAR decided not to send Maguire off. I mean, what more do you need to see? At least they spotted Totti kicking Balotelli because that was way too inappropriate for a game of football. You're meant to go for the ball or at least try and make it look like you were going for the ball. Totti forgot all about subtlety and went straight for Balotelli's ankle, resulting in a straight red card. For someone as respectful and composed as Totti, it was pretty weird to see him try and hurt Balotelli like that. But not as weird as seeing this next guy forget his leg was broken. Yeah, Mobile faced this career-ending tackle and was pretty hurt inside the penalty area, but as soon as his team scored, all the pain went away and Mobile was as good as new. We've just uncovered the cure for every illness out there. Scoring a goal is just as miraculous as subscribing to this channel. The only difference is that subscribing might actually help someone. No, but seriously, we need to do something about diving because it's ruining football. Just look at this dive from David Luiz. He didn't even try to hide the fact that he was acting. He went down and immediately looked at the fans to pass a sneaky grin. That was just time wasting and he wanted to rile up the opposition fans while he was at it. That must be so annoying to see as a viewer. But not as annoying as seeing what Eric Dier did to this fan. After a game, Eric Dier rushed after a fan because the fan had given Eric's brother a tough time, which on the surface is a good thing to do, but there is a time and place. Trying to defend your brother is understandable, but players aren't supposed to be in the stands after a game. He even got fined for that. But Dier wouldn't care. For him, family's everything. And he's not the only one. Even the infamous Zidane headbutt happened because of family. You see, the guy Zidane headbutted was saying offensive stuff about Zidane's sister, and Zizou just couldn't keep his cool. Headbutting someone in the middle of a football game is pretty inappropriate, but it's not as appropriate as what Diego Simeone did when his team scored. Managers are allowed to celebrate goals just as much as the players because, well, they're the ones who cook them up. But grabbing it like that? No one wants to see that, no matter how outrageous the goal was. But it wasn't as bad as this next one, because when it comes to women's football, inappropriate moments are always a bit too inappropriate. These two ladies were fighting for the ball, and well, one of them got a bit too carried away. I guess that's one way to make your opponent stop playing. But it didn't even work, so maybe it's not the best idea. But it still wasn't as bad as this next one, because this woman's football manager got a bit too excited. He was trying to pump his player up, but he didn't think it through. Don't pat like that, man. What was he thinking? Now, everyone's gonna think he's a creep, just like everyone thought Casillas was when he interacted with the interviewer after winning the World Cup. Everyone who didn't know thought Casillas was going to get in trouble, but don't worry, that was his girlfriend. Still, pretty inappropriate for a family show, but at least it was consensual, because this next incident caused a huge stir. Luis Rubiales, the president of the Spanish national women's team, did this to Jenny Hermoso in celebration, and everyone lost their minds. Jenny herself came out saying it made her uncomfortable, and fans started demanding that Rubiales resign from his post. That prick deserves to be locked away in a prison. Just like this pitch intruder who ran into the pitch in the 2019 Champions League final wearing nothing but this. Those two teams trained for weeks leading up to the match and were fully focused on winning the game, but had to stop playing because this genius woman decided it would be fun to run onto the pitch wearing pretty much nothing. Children are watching, you know? But none of these moments were as inappropriate as this one. Everyone knows the story of Emiliano Sala, the new Cardiff player who tragically lost his life on his way to his new club in a plane crash. But did you know that Southampton fans taunted Cardiff fans about it during this game? Yeah, they used a tragedy just to rile a few fans up. Heartless and utterly inappropriate for a sport that has no room for fools like these guys. There are tons of other inappropriate moments to go through, but for now, let's end there. If you want to see more, I recommend this video on your screen now. It's a total blast.